హలో వ్యూవర్స్, వెల్కమ్ బ్యాక్ టు అవర్ ఛానల్. ఈ వీడియోలో వచ్చేసరికి బ్యాంక్ రీకన్సిలేషన్ సంబంధించి టెక్నికల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్ అయితే ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. సో వీడియోని చివరి వరకు చూడండి. అదే విధంగా ఎవరైతే అకౌంటెంట్స్ గా వర్క్ చేస్తూ హార్డ్ ప్రాసెస్ మీద జాబ్ కోసం ట్రై చేస్తున్నారో సో వారి కోసం మనం ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ ని పీడిఎఫ్ రూప్ లో ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తున్నాము. సో అదే విధంగా ఈ పీడిఎఫ్ పేజీలు తీసుకోవడం వల్ల మీకు జాబ్ ఇన్సూరెన్స్ అయితే ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తాము. సో ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు నా వాట్సాప్ నెంబర్ కి అయితే పింగ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో వీడియో అయితే స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాం.
Can you start by telling me what you understand by bank reconciliation?
Bank reconciliation is the process of comparing and matching the figures from a company's accounting records to the bank statement. The goal is to ensure that the balances match and to identify any discrepancies, such as outstanding checks, deposits in transit, or errors in recording transactions.
Can you walk me through the steps you follow when performing a bank reconciliation?
Sure. First, I get the bank statement and the company's records. I check the opening balances to ensure they match. Then, I match transactions in the bank statement to the records. If there are any differences, I investigate and correct them.
How do you handle discrepancies you find during the reconciliation process?
When I find discrepancies, I first try to identify the root cause. I check for common issues like data entry errors, timing differences, or missing transactions. If I can't resolve it on my own, I usually reach out to the bank or the relevant department in the company. For example, if a check was recorded in the ledger but doesn't appear on the bank statement, I'll confirm with the bank whether it's still processing or if there was an issue with the check. If there's an error on the company's side, I'll make the necessary adjustments to the records.
Let's say you discover an error made by the bank. How would you handle that?
If the error is on the bank's side, I'd contact the bank immediately to notify them of the issue. I would ask for a correction or an explanation, depending on the nature of the error. While waiting for their response, I'd document the discrepancy in my records. Once the bank corrects the error, I would update the reconciliation to reflect the corrected information.
Can you give me an example of a time when you had to resolve a particularly tricky bank reconciliation issue?
In my previous job, I was reconciling the books when I found a significant discrepancy between the bank balance and the general ledger. It turned out that a large payment had been recorded twice in the ledger due to a clerical error, but the bank had only processed it once. I caught it after double-checking the transactions and confirmed the issue with the finance team. We quickly corrected the ledger, and I updated the bank reconciliation. I also implemented a process for double-checking large payments in the future to prevent a similar issue from happening again.
How do you ensure accuracy and timeliness in completing reconciliations?
I always prioritize staying organized and proactive. I typically perform reconciliations on a set schedule, so I can identify any issues early. I also make sure to check for any unusual transactions or patterns and double-check any transactions that seem out of the ordinary. Additionally, I make sure to keep an open line of communication with the bank and internal departments in case something needs clarification. Timeliness is crucial, so I usually start the reconciliation process as soon as the bank statement is available.
How do you handle situations where the bank statement doesn't arrive on time but you still need to complete the reconciliation?
If the bank statement is delayed, I would usually check if I can access the transactions online or through any other digital channels. If that's not an option, I would start by working with the most recent bank data I have and flagging the affected period for follow-up. It's important to communicate this delay to the relevant teams and ensure they're aware of the situation. Once I receive the bank statement, I would then complete the reconciliation for that period.